Don't worry.
Hi, Howie.
How you doing?
Okay. A lot of people say that we need an independent party of labor. And so I would say, but the Greens are working to be that party, and we have connections, and we want to build on those connections. How can we do that and answer the folks who say, oh, I'm all for third party, but it's got to be independent labor party?
Well, my experience is there are more working class people in the Green Party than there are in these so-called self-described socialist organizations, which are mostly on campus and middle class. So let's get that straight. The youth labor movement, the formal labor movement, the unions, we're down to less people organized than we had in the 1920s in the private sector. And the public sector is now the target. So the other thing is the way, like the Labour Party in Britain was organized, was the labor unions came in as a block, and the bosses cast the votes of those unions in a block without the consultation so much of the rank and file. It was divided into three ways. You had the 1/3 was the unions, 1/3 was the parliamentarians, the elected MPs, members of parliament, and the third were the constituent organizations, the constituent labor parties. The constituent labor parties, the rank and file labor party is always way to the left of the union bosses and the politicians. We got to have a working class party where individuals fund it, not labor organizations through their bosses or the hierarchy. Otherwise, you're going to get you're going to get a labor party that's going to want to compromise every time a real fight comes up and go with the Democrats as a default. And so I don't think you can build it that way. But it's got to be rooted in the working class, and that's where we got to get back to organizing. How do we bring, because the people that don't vote are mostly working class people, and they don't vote not because they don't care, it's they don't think it'll make any difference. Yeah. You go canvassing, people say, I'm not going to be a sucker. I'm not going to play their game. Of course, their game is to make you feel that way, so you're out of the game. But, that's what we got to do. So I'm all for a working class party that's a labor party, but not a union-controlled party by the union bosses. Otherwise, we're still left out.
And do you think we have enough connections as a party at this point, or do we need to consciously work on building those connections?
Well, I think whatever city, town, wherever you live, you need to scope out, all right, what communities are involved with us and what are not, and who should be. And then you got to go to those communities, find out what they're doing. I mean, the classic organizing thing is you don't tell them what you're going to do. You go there and hear what they want to do. You help them do it. You build trust. You build a relationship. And then you can talk about what you want to do. And we need to do that systematically wherever we are and get the communities that aren't involved with us involved. And that's, we need training in this kind of organizing. And we need, I've been saying this, we need to be a membership-based, dues-paying organization. So nobody's going to fund us but us. Yeah. And we got to have, skilled people training us how to do this organizing. And so that's why we need a real, solid base for the party, or we're not being serious, and we're not going to make a big difference.
Thank you.
Thank you.